Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to understanding what really matters in the news.
And today, we're zeroing in on the Trump administration.
Yeah, a real dynamic snapshot of the current political and, well, economic currents swirling around it.
Our source material is The Guardian's Trump News at a Glance. This was published just yesterday, Saturday, August 2nd, 2025.
And our mission, as always, is to quickly pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising facts, and, the different perspectives from these headlines.
Giving you that comprehensive understanding without you getting bogged down.
Exactly. So we'll be unpacking some significant political investigations, controversies around economic data, admin decisions.
And interestingly, some presidential commentary on high-profile legal cases.
Okay, let's dig in. First up, the U.S. Office of Special Counsel. It's an independent federal agency.
Right.
They've confirmed they're investigating former DOJ prosecutor Jack Smith. Now, Jack Smith, that name rings a bell for many reasons.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jack Smith was special counsel leading those huge investigations into Trump.
The January 6th Capitol riot investigation.
And the alleged mishandling of classified documents, yeah. He brought 2 criminal indictments against Trump back in 2023. So him being investigated now, it's quite a turn.
So what's the core of this investigation into Smith?
It's about possible violations of the Hatch Act.
Ah, the Hatch Act. Okay,
Yeah.
for anyone who isn't immediately familiar, what exactly is that law? And I guess, why are Trump's allies bringing it up now against Smith?
Sure. So the Hatch Act is a federal law, goes way back to 1939, and its main goal is to limit certain political activities of federal employees. Keep government impartial.
Okay.
The argument from, Trump himself and some prominent Republicans is that Smith's investigations were political activity, that they amounted to illegal interference, basically violating the act.
And the timing here is interesting, too. This wasn't just an internal review popping up.
No, it was specifically requested. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, a Republican, asked for it just last week.
And his reasoning.
He cited Smith's, quote, unprecedented interference in the 2024 election.
It's also worth pointing out, Smith actually resigned back in January 2025.
That's right, before either of those indictments he brought against Trump ever went to trial.
Okay, so speaking of investigations and contested narratives, let's shift gears.
Right.
There's another major development from a different special counsel's report, John Durham's. He was appointed near the end of Trump's first term.
Right.
And new details are coming out from a previously classified annex to his report. This involves Tulsi Gabbard, the director of U.S. National Intelligence. What was her objective here?
Well, Gabbard's stated goal, according to the source, was to find evidence supporting the idea that Barack Obama and his national security team conspired against Trump.
A conspiracy she termed
A slow-motion coup. Yeah, that was her framing. She's looking to the Durham report to back that up.
But this annex, according to The Guardian, tells perhaps a surprising different story.
It really does. The annex apparently further undermines Gabbard's case, pretty directly, in fact. It confirms that Russian spies were actually behind those emails released during the 2016 campaign, the ones from the Democratic Channel's hack.
Ah, the emails that Trump supporters believed showed the Clinton campaign trying to frame him for collusion with Moscow.
Exactly, those emails. So the annex meant to potentially uncover this anti-Trump plot ends up confirming Russian interference instead. It kind of flips the script on that whole narrative.
That's quite the outcome. A real reminder of how these intelligence findings can cut through political theories.
Absolutely, regardless of, who's hoping for what outcome.
Okay, let's move from investigations to the economy. Because here, economic data seems to have led directly to political action.
You're talking about the firing of Erica McIntyre.
Yes, the leading U.S. labor market statistician. What was the immediate trigger for that?
It followed a jobs report. The July numbers came out, and the economy added just 73,000 jobs.
Which was?
Way, way below what economists were expecting. A big miss.
And McIntyre, she wasn't a Trump appointee, was she?
No, she was confirmed back in January 2024, so during the Biden presidency.
Yeah.
Makes the timing of the firing even more notable, perhaps.
So weak job numbers come out, the head statistician gets fired. What was President Trump's specific reaction to those July figures?
Pretty strong. He claimed, and the source notes without evidence, that the numbers were, quote, rigged in order to make the Republicans and me look bad.
And he maintained the economy was actually doing well.
Yes, he doubled down, saying the U.S. economy was, in his words, booming on his watch.
Wow. Okay, so that's a direct challenge to the official data. How did this play within his own party, the Republicans? Was firing the statistician widely supported?
Not entirely, no. There was some pushback from senior Republicans.
Like who?
Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, for instance. She was quoted saying pretty directly, if the president is firing the statistician because he doesn't like the numbers but they are accurate, then that's a problem.
Hmm. Anyone else?
Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky also weighed in, maybe from a slightly different angle, but he questioned if firing McIntyre was really an effective way to, improve the numbers anyway.
So some clear discomfort there, even within the GOP.
Seems like it, yeah. About the optics and maybe the implications.
And this jobs report incident, it feels like part of a broader narrative, right? What's the general economic message coming from the Trump White House?
The consistent message is booming economy, inflation's dead, jobs are surging. That's the official position.
But how does that stack up against other recent data?
Well, the Guardian piece mentions that a, quote, blizzard of economic reports has cast a pall on such claims in recent days. So it suggests other indicators might be pointing in a less rosy direction.
Okay, sticking with administration actions, but moving to cost cutting. There's news about the National Institutes of Health, the NIH.
Yes, a pretty significant action there.
What happened?
The administration terminated a large number of NIH grants. We're talking 1,902 grants between January and the end of July.
Wow, 1,902. And the dollar amount.
Over $4.4 billion. It's a substantial cut.
And the rationale.
It followed guidance from the Department of Government Efficiency, nicknamed DOJ, and also aligned with Trump's executive orders aimed at cutting federal spending.
Right, part of that broader push for efficiency and cost reduction.
Exactly.
All right, now for something a bit different. An unexpected intersection of politics and celebrity news.
The comments on Sean Diddy Combs.
Yes. President Trump weighed in on his legal situation. What was his take, especially after Combs' recent conviction?
Trump said he considers Combs sort of half innocent, which is quite a statement given Combs was convicted in federal court just last month, in July.
Half innocent. Okay, let's quickly recap for our listeners. What exactly was Combs found guilty of, and what was he acquitted of? That context seems important here.
Definitely. So he was found guilty on July 2nd of 2 counts transportation to engage in prostitution. Each count carries a potential sentence of up to 10 years. But crucially, he was acquitted of the more serious charges, sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. So perhaps that's where the half-innocent idea comes from.
Maybe. But despite that comment, Trump also suggested that actually pardoning Combs would be, quote, more difficult. Why? What was his reasoning?
This part was very personal. He said, quote, when I ran for office, he was very hostile and made some terrible statements.
About Trump himself.
Yes. Trump added, it's hard, we're human beings, and we don't like to have things cloud our judgment. But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office, and he made some terrible statements.
So a very candid admission that past criticism makes considering a pardon harder.
It really highlights how personal history, perceived slights, can, particularly influence these major decisions, even for public figures.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Political investigations turning inward, clashes over economic data, these unexpected comments on justice. It's quite a landscape.
It really is. And pulling back to see the bigger picture, you notice these recurring themes, right? Narratives about accountability, clashing, disputes over what economic reality even is.
Yeah, and even personal feelings influencing potentially huge decisions like pardons.
And this deep dive, based on just one day's news roundup, really underlines that challenge of just sifting through it all, trying to figure out what's actually happening.
It definitely raises that question. How do you, as someone trying to stay informed, tell fact from assertion, especially when things get so tangled?
You see official reports contradicting claims. You see investigations yielding unexpected results. You see personal history coloring judgments.
So for you, our listener, the takeaway isn't just, here's what happened. It's seeing how these stories connect, how many different angles there are.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is that constant interplay. Official findings, political spin, personal history, they all feed into the public discourse. It's rarely simple.
So maybe something to think about is how these challenges, verifying info, recognizing narratives, shape your understanding of the news. What stands out to you when you consider the sources you trust? How do you weigh these conflicting claims? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.